Hello everyone, welcome to Rajalakshmi classes. Today we will discuss about mechanism of water absorption. Water absorption involves two mechanisms. One is passive mechanism and second one is active mechanism. First we will see what is passive absorption or passive mechanism. As the name indicates, passive, that means the root cells do not play any active role. So water absorption by which the root cells do not play any active role and there is no expenditure of energy is called as the passive absorption. Here the force which involved for the absorption of water is created in the aerial parts of the plant, mostly the leaves. In the leaves, there are minute pores known as stomata. If we take away some epidermal cell of the leaf and observe under microscope, we will see there are number of pores which are called stomata. And through these stomata, the water is lost from the tree to outside or to the atmosphere in the form of water vapor, and this is known as transpiration. So here in passive absorption, the force created from the transpiring surface or the leaf of the plant. The roots do not play active role or there is no expenditure of or utilization of energy. Only water enter through the root, not by the activity of the root cells. This is called as passive absorption. So how it occurs? We know, if you remember the anatomy of the leaf, there is upper epidermis, lower epidermis, and in the lower epidermis generally stomata are present. Singular is stoma. So here stomata is present. There is upper epidermis and lower epidermis. At the middle there is the conducting tissue or vascular bundles, xylem and phloem. And there are other cells of the leaf are known as mesophyll cells. Then during transpiration, when water is lost through the stomata or water is lost from the mesophyll cells, diffusion pressure deficit increases in the mesophyll cells or the osmotic pressure increases in these mesophyll cells. So water is absorbed from the adjacent cell into it. Again, this cell have lower water potential and higher diffusion pressure deficit. So due to the higher DPD, it will absorb from the another adjacent mesophyll cell. In this way, the water is absorbed from the mesophyll cells until it reaches the xylem of the leaf. So once water is absorbed from the xylem of the leaf, the entire water column from the leaf to the root through the stem and branches will be lifted up. Because there is a continuous water column in the xylem of the root to the xylem of the leaf through the xylem of the stem and the branches. So once water is pulled from this xylem of the leaf, the entire water column will be lifted or move up. So what happened here? The water content will be or water potential of the root xylem. This is the root xylem. The water potential of the root xylem decreases, or in other words, the DPD of the root xylem increases. When the deficit, diffusion pressure deficit increases, it will absorb water from the endodermal cell, root endodermal cell. Again, the endodermal cell will absorb water from the root cortex, and finally the water is absorbed from the root hair, as root hair are in contact with the soil water. So once water is absorbed from the root hair, or the osmotic concentration of the root hair increases. So the water from outside or the soil enter into the root hair by osmosis. So we see that the water moves through the root, not by the activity of the root cell. Rather, the force which help in the water absorption is created in the mesophyll cells of the leaf. So this is called as passive absorption of water. Next, active mechanism. Here, the root cells play active role for the water absorption. When the transpiration rate is very slow, suppose in winter season or in night, the transpiration rate is very slow. At that time, the roots also absorb water, but by active method or active mechanism. So here, there is expenditure of energy which comes from the respiring cells of the root or from respiration. This active absorption can be divided into two types. One is osmotic active absorption and another is non-osmotic. So what is osmotic active absorption? We know that the root hairs are extended in between the pore spaces or capillaries of the soil, and these capillaries are filled with capillary water. The root hair contain a vacuole which contain a cell sap, that is the cell water containing organic and inorganic materials. So the osmotic concentration of the root hair is more than the capillary water, or in other words, the diffusion pressure deficit is higher inside the root hair than the soil solution of the capillary water. So water enter into the root hair, capillary water enter into the root hair by simple process of osmosis. This is called as osmotic active absorption. Then what is non-osmotic active absorption? According to this mechanism, water is absorbed by the root, but it is non-osmotic. So in this case, energy is utilized. That is called non-osmotic water absorption. Suppose the capillary water or the outside water is more concentrated than the cell sap, then at that places also water is absorbed against the concentration gradient. So in this condition, where the capillary water is more concentrated than the root hair, the water is absorbed in a non-osmotic way. That is by the expenditure of energy which comes from the respiration of the root cells. How the energy is utilized is not known, but there are some evidences which relate the rate of absorption with respiration. The first evidence is respiration and the rate of absorption. So it has been seen that the factors which affect respiration also affect rate of absorption. For example, the application of potassium cyanide also decreases the rate of absorption. This is the first evidence. So we see that there is a relation between the respiration, which is energy producing process, and rate of absorption. Second one is wilting of plants in poorly aerated soil. The plants growing in poorly aerated soil or waterlogged soils, there is a wilting of plants. Wilting means drooping. So here the plants do not get direct oxygen from the atmosphere, or the root cells mainly do not get the direct oxygen. So there is wilting of plant. Then the third point or third evidence is application of growth hormone. by applying growth hormone like auxins. It is seen that auxins increase the rate of absorption. As it increases the rate of respiration, it is also increase the rate of absorption. So, from these evidences, we can conclude that there is a close relationship between rate of absorption and the expenditure of energy. Though a very little amount of water is absorbed by active mechanism, mostly the water is absorbed in a passive mechanism, or both the mechanism may operate for absorption of water. Next, factors affecting the rate of water absorption. What are the factors? The first factor is soil temperature. The ideal soil temperature should be 20 degree centigrade to 30 degree. That is, in this range, the rate of absorption is maximum. The second point is concentration of soil water. When the concentration of the soil water is less than the cell share, the water can be absorbed by means of osmosis. And if the concentration of the soil water will be more, the rate of absorption will be decreased. Then third one is soil aeration. The rate of water absorption will be more in well aerated soil, because there is a relationship between the rate of water absorption and the respiration. So soil aeration is very much necessary for the water absorption. Then fourth one is available soil water. If the available soil water is sufficient, then the rate of absorption will be normal. When there is a dry soil, the rate of absorption becomes less. So these are some of the factors which affect the rate of absorption. If you like this video, you can like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.